You could give me 10 years to write a 3,000 word essay, and I'd still do it the day before. Tell me that's not an illness. I would say you either a serial procrastinator, or you just have ADHD. It's one of the two. Does procrastination in and of itself count as an illness? I'm not quite sure. I don't think it does. But then again, 10 years unhinged. Absolutely unhinged. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some neurodivergent memes because why not? Just why not? But either way, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll check out some more memes. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. This is how autistic people feel processing information. Because neurotypical people somehow have this thing in their brain that allows them to just filter out a lot of the unnecessary information. You know, they can just choose to ignore all the sounds in the background, for example, and listen to the person right in front of them, no matter, like, how loud it is around, you know? And I say loud for us, not loud for, like, if you're in a super loud bar or something. Yeah, sure, like, everyone's gonna have problem understanding. But this, on a constant level, just being bombarded with everything, and manually having to filter out what isn't important is exhausting, and it seems fake to people, because if you lived all your life being able to just not really have to think about it, just be like, oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna focus on this and ignore everything else, and it works, then it can be kind of easy to go, oh well, no, you just have to focus a little, you know, you can just like focus and make all the sounds go away. You can. Unfortunately, not everyone can. Okay, I can be in my bed and still be busy. Busy gathering strength, or processing everything that already happened. You know, like, listen, busy doesn't mean super busily running around from one place to the other, doing all the things. Like, that's busy, sure. But busy also means I am taking the much needed time for myself, to take care of myself, to just do nothing, to rot in bed, to do the things I enjoy, to go to the gym, to cook a nice meal, to plan the week ahead, to meal prep, to whatever. Literally anything and everything. And also, don't be noisy. Just don't be nosy. Like, if someone says, oh yeah, no, I can't that day, I don't have time that day, don't question it. I'll be like, well, but are you sure? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm sure my thing is more important, so you should ignore what you had planned. No. Stop being nosy. My god. I am focused, calm, and ready for anything that the world throws at me. Here is a very small interruption to your daily routine. My life is ruined. But this? Again, it's perfectly fine if I changed what I have planned. Like, if my plan was to do things A, B, C in that order, and I suddenly decide, oh, you know what, no, I'm just actually gonna do things C first, because I just want to, and then I do things A and B, that's fine. If someone's like, hey, can you do thing A later and come help me with thing C first? No. No. No, just no. That is a very quick way to ruin someone's day. Same with like, hey, let's leave at 10 tomorrow. Okay. You can leave at 10:03. You will still arrive where you need to go on time, but it'll still ruin your day. And you know, logically, that doesn't really make sense, but you're so upset about it. Yeah. I will die without routine, but also this routine is killing me. Routine drags me along, but I wouldn't move without it. Pretty much. This is just what it feels like to have ADHD. Like, having both autism and ADHD. It's kind of a wild ride. Because at first glance, it doesn't even make sense. I mean, there's a reason that people thought, and a lot of people probably still think, that you can't have both. Because it doesn't seem to make sense. Like, ADHD people and routine? No. But autistic people usually love their routines, right? But then kind of having both is either a new level of frustrating and sometimes actually helpful because it actually cancels each other out, but yeah. But then having your ADHD hate the routine so much that you can't stick to it anymore because you've done this for like 2 or 3 months now. No. Can't do it anymore. Hate it. Too boring. Can't do it. At all. But then your autism is just crying in a corner. So, you know, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but usually even if you have a routine, it does kind of just feel like it's dragging you along because otherwise you wouldn't move at all. Someone moves one of my belongings. Me. That's okay, I'll just put it back. My autistic ass gets really upset for no reason. It's really fine. My autistic ass gets upset for no reason. Because once again, you logically know it's not that big of a deal. Like, logically, it's not gonna ruin the thing if they just, like, if they take the bottle, it was standing like this, they pick it up, look at it, and then just put it down 10 centimeters to the left. But that's not where your bottle goes. Does it make a difference? No, because it's literally so close to where you left it that you will find it again. Because that's where your bottle always is, it's just like 10 centimeters to the left. It doesn't matter. But we would get upset over it. And that's like one of the most frustrating things for me, because I'm just like arguing in my head, right? Because I'm just like, it doesn't actually matter that much, but I'm so upset over it. And I don't know how to explain that to people, that I'm so upset over it. But then again, I feel like people ask, like, touching or stuff without asking, in general, is like understandable to get mad at. But if you're like, oh yeah, no, sure, you can like look at the thing, and then they look at the thing but they put it back like slightly wrong, then it's just like, I told them they could touch it. How do I explain that I'm upset because they didn't place it exactly like it was, you know? Because I feel like it won't make sense to a lot of people. Okay, let's try to write a to-do list. Actually, this is harder than I thought. I'm not coming up with anything. Oh well, just slamming your head on the table isn't gonna help. But if your head is on the table and on the to-do list, you can't see the to-do list. And if you can't see the problem, it's not there anymore, right? Right? Me deciding how I'm gonna be awkward today. Am I gonna be awkward by talking or by staying quiet? Or am I gonna do both? Am I just gonna overshare, but then be panicking about it, and then when someone asks me to elaborate because they're so confused by what I just said, but I'm just gonna stay quiet because now I can't talk anymore? You can do both. It's not gonna be helpful or more pleasant, but you can do both. You know, people with ADHD after being told to just focus. My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that? It's like the funniest but also weirdest thing. Like, did you really think that people with ADHD tell you, oh, I struggle with staying organized, I struggle to remember things, and they're just saying like, oh, why don't you just use a planner? As if that isn't the most obvious thing. And if someone notices they have trouble remembering their appointments or staying organized, don't you think that at some point they have tried a planner? Tried to use the calendar on their phone, try to use like a different calendar, try to use reminders, try to use alarms, try to use so many different things. And you want to throw the most obvious one at them and be like, well, but have you tried? Well, of course they have. And I know these people like mean well. But maybe instead of doing that, like these people, like neurotypicals like to say that you should think before you talk. but yet fail spectacular at actually stopping 1 second and be like, wait, actually maybe they've already tried this, and be like, wait, okay, what really helped for me was using this, but maybe you've already tried this, like, you know, I don't know, but just being like, oh, just use a planner. You just need to focus harder. Just pull yourself together. It really is the most unhelpful thing. And the Oscar goes to autistic people for their daily performances as neurotypicals. Because once again, there are some bad actors out there, so even if you feel like you're doing a bad job, doesn't mean people still won't buy it. Like, people are generally kind of oblivious to what autism looks like in adults in general, but especially if you're not like presenting like their 4-year-old nephew with autism, you know, who's like literally just obsessed with trains, then they won't really catch it. You know? So if you're worried about it and you don't want people to know, chances are you're gonna do quite well. It's still gonna be exhausting because masking is I recognize that it's necessary for a lot of people, but it's just still exhausting, you know? ADHDers bank account. Again, seriously, online shopping, eating out, material for a hobby they'll get bored from in a week, stuff they don't need. Yes, again, hi, we're back. I know we said we wouldn't be back, but that was a lie. We're back. And then again, if you tell people, they'll either just literally think you have a shopping addiction or tell you to make a budget and just track your spending as if that will help you, because you're very aware that you're spending money. You know, yeah. Hello fellow neurodivergent folks who were designated as gifted growing up. They weren't wrong, they just didn't specify who the gifts were from. Turns out it was the Fae. It's true, when I was a kid, a Fae asked me, "Hello child, may I have your attention?" And I said, "Oh sure, what's up?" I've had ADHD ever since. Does that make me a Fae-packed warlock? Because that just sounds slightly cooler than, oh, I have ADHD. I struggle to regulate my attention. No, I'm a Fae-packed warlock. Okay. It's just, people will look at you like you're crazy, but they'll look at you like you're crazy anyways, because if you as an adult who isn't bouncing off the walls like they expect of an ADHDer, then they'll look at you like you're crazy and you're just making it up. So you might as well say the more unhinged thing and just say you're a Fae-packed warlock. Because that way they'll stop talking to you because they think you're crazy. And you can go about your day in peace. ADHD pro tip: use psychological warfare on yourself. For example, in order to do long tasks like folding laundry, I put on the Mario hat. The main feature of the Mario hat is that my headset does not fit over it, so when the BSTM try to put me back in front of the screen, the headset issue forces me to remember why I put the Mario hat on, and back to the task I go. As a bonus, the Mario hat is also a very clear indicator to my housemates that business is getting done, and they have learned not to distract me when I'm wearing the goofy-ass cosplay hat. It's not stupid if it works. This seems fair. Because there's like nothing worse than like you're on your way to fold the laundry in this moment and someone's like, "Hey, didn't you want to do the laundry today?" Well, like, when are you getting around to that? Because as soon as you say that, it's not getting done. I really wish, like, when I was growing up, I thought I was just being a teenager, because like a lot of teenagers, like, there's like, well, as soon as my parents say it, I'm not doing it anymore. Out of defiance, like, they're choosing to defy whatever their parents say. And as valid as that is, especially as a teenager when you're learning to become your own person and kind of like doing that as a necessary step to kind of like start thinking for yourself. I have news for past me, because it wasn't that I was choosing to not do it anymore. I literally, even if I would have wanted to, I couldn't have done it anymore. You know, so like people in general don't really enjoy being told what to do. You know, but there's kind of a difference between like, oh well, it pisses me off so much that you told me to do this because I wanted to do it, and now I have to do it because it needs to be done, but I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna be pissed about it, and just not being able to do it anymore. You know, it's hard to tell from the outside, of course, but that's a difference. So wearing a stupid ass, big ass Mario hat, it seems so silly, but it's not silly if it works. Well, actually it is silly, but it still works, so it's fine. I have ADHD. That means I'm on a constant hunt for a crumb of dopamine. When I find something that gives me one, that's it. Obsession ignited, brain on fire. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm annoying now. Sorry, for once, the happy brain chemicals are doing their job. Let me have this. Yeah, people aren't really good at it though. Like, they're not good at just letting you have it. They think it's childish, or it's super weird that you could just spout 100 facts about this random topic, because to them it really is random, because maybe they've heard about it once, or maybe they've heard about it a couple times but they weren't interested in it, so they don't know anything about it, and they think it's just kind of weird that you know so much and that you're so passionate about it. And they're not good at letting you have it, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't. You know, like, screw them. If you have something, I know, like, it's kind of difficult if you've been shamed a lot for your interest growing up, or just kind of been ignored whenever you wanted to talk about it, so now you just feel like you shouldn't be obsessed with anything, but we could work on that. And honestly, I'm still working on that myself, but we can work on that and actually just enjoy our obsessions in peace, you know? Are you the ADHD who became really good at planning ahead because your brain made you worried, or are you the ADHD who procrastinated until you became very good at improvising? I think definitely the first, but mostly, even if I don't plan, I just worry. Because I know my brain. And, you know, if your brain just kind of seems to vary from day to day, and what you're able to do, and what makes you annoyed and what doesn't, because one day something doesn't bother you, and then the next day it does. It can be kind of hard to figure out day to day, you know, and it can be frustrating, so I'm just gonna worry. But I still kind of became good at planning and making plans that somehow work for me. You know, it took a lot of trial and error, but it kind of works. So, first one, doctor. So, have you been tested for ADHD before? Me, thinking about what my entrance song would be if I was a wrestler. You have a nice office. Well, no, but I guess you can see why they're here now. You know? Are you the can't stand the cold type of neurodivergent, or can't stand the heat type of neurodivergent? I'm a refuse to wear a long sleeve shirt because I'm terrified of being stuck in a too hot situation and being unable to fix type neurodivergent. Which does seem entirely fair. Like, I will wear layers. Like, if I wear anything with long sleeves, I'm probably just gonna have them rolled up. Like, some of my, like, button-up shirts just have rolled-up sleeves when I pull them out of the closet, because I wore them, like, once for 10 minutes and then just put them back in the closet with rolled sleeves. And even if I'm cold in that moment, I'm just gonna wear and not roll the sleeves down, because then I'm gonna have to re-roll them. And that's just kind of awkward and tedious. And then I know that I'm not gonna do it, and I'm just gonna be overwhelmed the entire day and overheating. or I just take the shirt off completely again. So I feel this. Neurotypicals be like, too little eye contact is a sign of dishonesty. Too much eye contact is also a sign of dishonesty. Being uncomfortable and having tense body language is a sign of dishonesty. Stimming is a sign of dishonesty, because it means you can't be relaxed and free either. Having a good long think to make sure your answer is as accurate as possible is a sign of dishonesty. You know what? Frick it, honesty is a sign of dishonesty. Yeah, sometimes people don't expect you to be honest. And then they say you're rude because you were honest, because they were just expecting you to say something else, which you're supposed to just like magically know. But literally this, like, it's been shown that people think you're guilty of something if you're just like stimming, for example. Or if you're thinking too long, well, it's because you're trying to come up with a lie, obviously. It's not because you struggle in social situations and you're just like trying to figure out what to say that won't make the other person go mad, because you know what you want to say, but you've just been shown time and time again that you come off as rude, so you're just like trying not to be rude, but then you're thinking about it, and then they just think you're trying to come up with a lie. It's not easy, you know? So honestly, I'm not saying just say what you think, because yeah, sometimes that might actually still be a bad idea, but I feel like if people think you're rude for just saying what you think honestly, I think it's kind of a them problem. Because expecting someone else to constantly do the mental gymnastics of figuring out what the other person wants to hear is exhausting and also kind of weird if you think about it. I'm not saying I don't do it, because I definitely do. I am good at it. I've become too good at just trying to get out of saying anything specific, you know, to just kind of agree with the other person and just move on about my day. I've become too good at it as well. Do you ever just violently dislike having body parts too restricting, would like to shapeshift? Just because it literally, I don't know why it feels like that. I mean, generally, a lot of trans people like shapeshifting, or would like to shapeshift. It sounds like trans people can shapeshift. You know, a lot of trans people would like that, but honestly, it makes just as much sense for neurodivergent people, because it just literally, sometimes you cannot get comfortable. Like, no matter what you do, something in your body was still gonna feel uncomfortable. So wanting to shapeshift is very understandable. I hate when people call fidgety stuff a nervous habit. I'm bouncing my leg because I'm bored, not because I'm a scared little bitch. I am charging up. Will not specify for what. None of your business. You'll find out when it's time. Because literally, yeah, sometimes it is because we're nervous. But maybe it's literally just because we're bored, or because we have too much energy, or because we're trying to do anything to be able to focus. Like, it's not always a being scared or nervous or feeling guilty about something, but that's what people will go to automatically, actually. Autistic characters on TV. I'm a human supercomputer and a master of science and or detective work. Me. No, I can't eat the same color M&M twice in a row. No, that doesn't work. But then when you, like, sometimes it feels better to give M&Ms away, because you literally try to eat them in a row. You try to, like, eat the colors in a row, but then you end up having, like, 3 brown ones left, and you want to eat them because they're your M&Ms, but you kind of can't, because that just feels wrong. You know, even if it is the last 3 in the packet, it still feels wrong. So I get that that might not be as cool for a character on TV, but it seems more real somehow. Me, thinking that it's normal to listen to a song 270 times in a row. Autism in the bag, like, I have news for you, but I'm gonna wait. I'm maybe you figure it out yourself. I'm just gonna be back here chilling and waiting for you to figure it out, really. Because it turns out people don't do that. And you kind of know that that's not a thing a lot of people do. Because otherwise you would have brought it up to other people by now. But you're kind of worried that other people don't do this. So you don't bring it up. So you kind of know. Everyone feels like they're cosplaying as a person. No ma'am, you just have autism. I feel like sometimes, like if it's something you feel, sometimes. Like if you feel kind of awkward and like you're just cosplaying as someone else in a job interview or when you're really nervous. Okay, but if it's kind of a constant thing, if it just like as soon as you have to interact with other people, you just kind of feel like you're cosplaying as a person, you're not just having this thing occasionally, you might just be autistic. Okay, I'm gonna put this somewhere safe. Is an ancient incantation that opens a portal to a random point in another timeline through which all safely kept things travel, never to be seen again. This is just a better explanation, really, because if it's not going through a portal to literally anywhere else, why can't we find it again? You can have like a pretty small apartment and put something in a safe place and then never see it again. You can move and still not have found it again. So if it isn't the portal, then what is it? You know? Okay, comparing things in height. The Eiffel Tower, Empire State, CN Tower, Burj Khalifa. The books I want to read. Like, I managed to delete the list somehow. I had a list of books I want to read eventually. I managed to lose it somehow. It was a digital list. It was saved on my laptop. Or maybe it was saved like in an online cloud, or maybe it was saved like on a hard drive. Either way, I have no idea where it is anymore. Which is equally sad, but also kind of freeing, because, well, I guess I can start new and at least take some time until it's that tall again. I think the most fun and sexy brain thing I have going on is that I pick up speech patterns just incredibly easy, which includes such sources as memes and classic lids, so, you know, that's why I sound like this. I will see a sentence and be like, oh baby, put that in the linguistic soup. I feel like a lot of people, like everyone sort of does this to an extent. Like, if you spend a lot of time with other people, like at work or if they're your friends and you talk to them a lot, you will eventually kind of like pick up little things they say. But I feel like neurodivergent people have a little bit of an easier time picking those things up, but also maybe a harder time putting them back down or like pulling them out of the linguistic soup, because especially if it's just like fun to say, if it just like sounds good in your mouth, you're not going to be putting it down or putting it away. That's gonna take a long time. If you verbally give me a set of instructions that has more than 2 steps, I promise you I will not retain them. The moment you give me the 3rd instruction, my brain is immediately clear like a freaking etch-a-sketch. Dude, please, I am begging you, write it down for me, because I will not remember a word you said if you tell me more than 2 steps. I'm begging you. Literally. Like, just know, someone giving you instructions where you need to drive in a city that you don't know your way around in, even if you technically know like sort of your way around, as soon as someone's saying something to you how to get somewhere, you will immediately forget. It's bad. And I've gotten so used to, like, because my dad is spectacular at this, and he kind of just like expects you to know where like certain places are. And then you're like, oh, you know where that is, right? And I'm just like, yeah, no, sure. And just get it over with, because he will somehow not accept that I can't remember or that I have no idea where anything is. So he will just try to explain. And I'll just like say, yeah, whatever, and then just like type the address in. Because I will try to tell these people, just give me the address. I'll just use Google Maps or something. It's fine, just give me the address. But they're, you know, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. Okay, if you think I am short, you should see my patience. Because literally, I understand toddlers too much somehow. Because, you know, some toddlers are really patient somehow, but some toddlers, as soon as something isn't working, just throw the thing away. And I feel that, you know, on a 2D level, because I can be patient, but only very rarely, and you never know how much patience I have left until it's too late. I never know how much patience I have left until it's completely gone and the sirens are going off and I get irritated. I never know, because things aren't always taking equally as much of my patience as I would like them to, because if things always work the same, then it'd kind of be easier to predict, but unfortunately that's not how this works. I did not actually order this shirt, but I thought it'd be really funny if I did. Anyways, that was all the memes I have for today, because I feel like I called myself out a lot. Or enough, at least, for one video. So either way, I hope you feel called out too. I hope you enjoyed the memes. I hope you're hydrated. If not, maybe consider, you know. But either way, I'll be back in a couple days to remind you again.